Mayor Adams and other city officials are trying to reassure New Yorkers that immigrants in the city are safe regardless of immigration status.
This comes as federal officials begin enforcing the Trump administration's new policies, which are expected to include mass deportations. Good Day's Briella Tomassetti is outside the Roosevelt Hotel Migrant Intake Center, and that is in Midtown this morning. And Briella, you have the latest. What are you hearing?
Yeah, Tina and Tashani, good morning to both of you. We know this. Federal immigration officials made hundreds of arrests in sanctuary cities on President Trump's first day in office. That is only the start of what Border Czar Tom Homan has promised. And now scores of undocumented New Yorkers fear that they could be next.
ICE arrested over 308 serious criminals. Some of them were murderers. Some of them were rapists. Some of them raped a child. Some were sexual assault of a child.
The bill passed.
Last night, the House passed the Laken Riley Act, a bill that would require federal authorities to detain migrants accused of theft and violent crimes. The legislation is named after the 22-year-old Georgia nursing school student who was murdered last year by an undocumented immigrant. The final vote was 263 to 156, with 46 Democrats crossing party lines in support. The Senate version of the bill passed earlier this week, and President Trump is expected to sign it into law. It comes after the Trump administration issued new guidance allowing immigration officials to make arrests at sensitive places like schools, churches, and hospitals. The American Civil Liberties Union has filed a lawsuit against Trump's fast-track deportation policy, which would allow ICE agents to deport people without a hearing before a judge.
This is an effort to grease the wheels of the deportation machine at the expense of the fundamental principle of due process. People who are arrested by ICE would not even have the chance to go to court to plead their case.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch sent a memo to her officers should federal raids start, stating that laws are in place which prevent local police from assisting federal authorities. It reads in part, the fact that a person is present in the U.S. without lawful authorization is a civil matter, not a crime. Meanwhile, Mayor Adams is trying to quell some New Yorkers' fears of mass deportation. Immigration advocates rallied outside a school in Corona, Queens, where Adams held a town hall last night. Inside, participants slammed him with questions about how President Trump's immigration agenda will affect the city, and he was ready with answers.
Could you please provide clarification on the next steps you intend to address these issues and alleviate the fear in our community?
And we're going to continue to stand up for all New Yorkers, documented and undocumented. We don't want children staying home. Yeah. We don't want people who have medical emergencies not to go to the hospital. We don't want people who are victims of crimes not to call the police department.
Refugees who were cleared to come to the U.S. before a deadline next week suspending the nation's refugee resettlement program have already had their plans canceled by the Trump administration. More than 10,000 refugees from across the world had gone through the intense vetting process. But for now, we're live here outside the Roosevelt Hotel. Tina and Tashani, will send it back to you.
All right, Briella, thank you.